What's up, everybody? Welcome to Budget Freedom. I'm Christo,
And I'm Jessica.
and today we are back to talk about online stuff, selling online, and
We're here to talk about sponsored ads or paid advertising, basically. So we'll run you through, obviously, Amazon and then some of the other paid advertising that we've used and just give you our insight as to why we think you should do it and how you should set it up and what the benefits are.
Yes.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, sponsored. Well, yes, sponsored ads. And actually, as everybody knows, your business, your company is as big as your advertising. So,
Not entirely true.
Why?
We've done very minimal advertising over the past 5 years with our company, and we have grown it substantially. I mean, considering we started out with 2,000 euros in stock, and now we have 30,000 euros in stock. That with very, very little advertising,
Yes.
it is possible to grow if you're committed.
Yes.
So no, I do not believe that you have to spend 50% of your income on advertising. It depends on what industry you're in, and it depends on how fast you want to grow, obviously. But if you want to start slow and build up due to finances or cash flow, or just not wanting to stress, that's very, very possible to still grow.
Yes,
online these days
I
without
agree.
a whole lot of advertising.
It is, but still you have to advertise.
Yeah, but obviously the more you advertise, the more sales you're going to get. But another thing is they need to work that into their costing and understand how to, be cost effective, because you don't want to spend all your profit just on advertising and max out at the end of the day.
Of course, you don't want.
You want to make money.
Yes.
That's the whole goal of this situation. So again, we go back to costing. I know you guys probably love hearing me talk about budgeting and costing, but it always goes back to that. Don't start advertising if you haven't costed in your products and you're not prepared for how much you're going to spend every month. Because if you don't, then you're going to end up not having any profit. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to give up, and it's not going to help you or your business in any way. So again, going back to costing, the way I work my costing into the products is I know on average how many items we're going to sell per month based on obviously previous year's figures, and we're growing every month, so that does change. But again, when you sell more, it's never a negative, it's always a positive, so that's not anything to worry about, because if you work your cost of advertising into the purchase of every single product, the more you sell, the more money you're going to have to spend on advertising. So that will never hurt you, so that you don't have to worry about. So work on a lower figure, okay? So if you normally sell 500 parcels a month in your busy months, but then in the slower months you're selling 200 a month, what you want to do is you want to add up your parcel total for the year and divide it by 12 months. So you're going to work on an average. So even though some months when you sell less, you might be paying more advertising, it will average out throughout the year. And you need to work this into your budget and be very strict with it so that you can run your advertising consistently, not be stressed about it, and know what to expect.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. So again, let's say you are selling 5,000 parcels a year, which is a small to medium-sized business, what they're selling. You would take that 5,000 divided by 12 months, and you would know, okay, on average, I'm not doing the math in my head right now, but let's say 250 parcels a month. And then you would say, all right, if I want to spend $250 or euros a month on advertising, and I'm going to be selling 250 parcels on average a month throughout the year, including my busy times, then I need to charge $1 or €1 per product for my advertising to be covered for the year. And then obviously as you increase your advertising, you would have to redo this whole calculation. But once you set up a little spreadsheet with it, it shouldn't be hard to do that. Again, I will share a spreadsheet. I have lots of spreadsheets for everything. It's a simple calculation. And the best thing to do is to set up like a master Excel file for your business and have different tabs with all these calculations so that they're at a click of a button whenever you need them. And you can just go change your total amounts and have the costing pop out for you. Yes. I lost my words. I went blank for a second. Yes, sorry guys, this is real life. Yes. This is not edited videoing. So again, just to recap, that way you know, okay, even though I might not sell 250 parcels this month, maybe I'm going to sell 170 or 220 or whatever it is. You might spend a little bit more every month on advertising because in your slower months when you're selling less items, you'll be paying a little bit more advertising. But then in the busy months when you're selling a lot more items, you'll be making more money, obviously, and you can save that money and build up your cash flow so that you will be able to float it in the slower months. Or depending on how your budget is set up, you might not even need to do that, and just set up your budget accordingly to where the advertising is budgeted every single month and it's not a strain on your cash flow when you have less sales. So getting a little bit into what kind of advertising you're going to be doing now. There's a lot of different advertising you can do. You can advertise on Amazon, you can advertise on eBay, on Google, Google AdWords. You can advertise on Facebook, Instagram, and there's a lot of other places you can obviously advertise. These are my favorite places to advertise though. And I have realized that there are myths around it. There are gray areas around it, especially on Amazon, about whether advertising helps or doesn't help with your products. It's not a 100% clear, cut and dry answer. There are competitors out there that will try to use up your advertising money, but you got to just kind of be prepared for that. That's the way I look at it. I put my minimum ad budget. I have it budgeted into my monthly bills, and I have it running no matter what. And if people are going to use some of that up, they're going to use some of that up. But I monitor my ACoS as well, and your ACoS is your advertising cost of sale. So it's the amount of money that you have to spend on a sale in order to be able to afford your advertising. So I monitor that percent every month per country, per platform. And as long as that is within my 15 to 20% range, where I'm happy to pay that for advertising, then I'm okay with it. If it goes, 100 or 90 or 80%, I'm not really happy with it. I might pause it or adjust the advertising on that site. But that is something that you have to play with and work with and get comfortable with over time. And we can go into more detail on that in another video. So a really cheap, easy way to start, like on Amazon, depending on how many platforms you're on, how many countries you're active on, you can set a minimum of a $1 or €1, £1 per day budget. So that works out to about £30 a month or £31 a month or euros, depending on the month, per country. So if you're on the European marketplaces, you're going to have 5 countries, or 6 now if you include the Netherlands. That's again if you sell in all countries. If you only sell in 2 or 3, you would multiply that by the 2 or 3 that you sell on. America is the same. It's $30 or $31. And then on eBay, the advertising is different. You don't pay per click, you pay per sale, which I think is a lot better than Amazon, because on Amazon it's pay per click, which means that every single time someone clicks on your product, you have to pay that cost for that click. So your money does go faster there because it's not necessarily a sale. It could just be someone browsing that costs you money. But it's still exposure, and that's what we want to go after. On eBay, it is pay per sale. So people can click on your ad and you won't be charged. You'll only be charged if they buy the item, and you set the price there. So it's not based on a dollar a day per amount. It's a per price amount. So again, if you keep in mind there that you are willing to pay, $1 or €1 per item for advertising, you can go ahead and set your cost on your eBay products at $1. I wouldn't advise going to the maximum like that. I normally set my eBay pricing at 1 to 3% per product. 5 really is max. Those are on my best sellers. I'll put 5% of the sales price as my advertising. But the other ones work really well on 1 to 3%, especially if you have a low budget and you want to start out cheap and easy. As you progress, you can increase those. Like I said, I have 5 on a lot of my best sellers, and some I have 10% on that I might want to move. But again, I know my costing very well. I know my profit margins very well, and I've made those decisions based on a long time. So when you're just starting off, start with 1 to 3%. It gives you the exposure that you need, and it doesn't cost you too much. So that's eBay. So eBay is really cool. You can just set it up, set your percentage. You only pay when you sell, so there's no risk there involved. There's no monthly fee there that you have to pay. Google AdWords is a lot more difficult. It's a lot more expensive. There you're going to pay. There you need to budget, especially starting out, at least $50 to $100 a month to just get your products going, and don't expect a whole lot of sales on that. Google AdWords, you need to be prepared to be able to pay for 6 months of advertising ahead of time without getting any sales. Because the way Google works is the algorithm actually learns your ads when you set them up for the first 2 to 3 months. And then after those 2 to 3 months go by and it's learned your ads, then it really starts to push them and you start to get more sales based off your advertising. But you have to be able to float the advertising cost for those 6 months for that to work. The same kind of with Facebook. Facebook, you get faster sales and it is cheaper. So on Facebook, you can run a sale for, like they recommend running a sale no less than 4 to 7 days. I like to do 7 to 10 days, but 4 days is a good test market as well. And there you can set your budget. So you can say for 4 days, I'm willing to spend $20, or for 10 days, I'm willing to spend $40. You can spend $10 over 10 days, $1 a day if you want, to just test it out. And there's too much to put into one video. We're gonna have to do a lot of videos on this, and there are a lot of videos that you can go watch by Facebook experts and Instagram experts and all of that. But you do need to target. You need to think about, what you're trying to sell, who you're trying to sell it to, so that you get the most out of your advertising money. So that's Facebook, Instagram, and Google. Those kind of all work like that. eBay, as I explained, works per sale. And then Amazon, it's a pay-per-click. So it's the same idea as actually Facebook, Google, and Instagram, which are also pay-per-click. You pay when people click, not when you sell. But with Amazon, there are 2 ways to set up your advertising. So the one way is through keywords. So you can use either the keywords that work and target those keywords and bid like 10 or 15 cents or up to, it goes up to $5 sometimes for a keyword, which I don't recommend. I set a minimum of 10 to 15 cents as my bid. And the thing is, you don't have to be the highest bidder on Amazon, because once, like I said, some competitors go and they click on their competitors' products to use up all their ad money, which is really horrible, and I don't advise that. I don't even have the time to do that, so I don't know how these people, and I would just feel so horrible doing that to other people. But there are people that do that, so a lot of these high bidders, their money will get used up, and their products won't show anymore. So when that happens, your products at 10 to 15 cents will go and kick in, and you will get exposure. You'll get ads exposure. So I have gone to 25 cents again on some of my higher items, 50 cents on, it depends on what item you're selling. If you're selling, party supplies that cost $2, you're not going to put an ad price at 50 cents on that. You need an ad price on that at 2 to 3 cents, 5 cents max, But if you're selling something like I sell some expensive leather handbags, you can afford to put 50 cents to $1 click on that. But I would never do $1. Because again, it's per click. People, every time someone clicks, you have to pay. So you can't just think, oh, it's just 50 cents for one sale. It doesn't work that way, because somebody might click on your bag 10 or 20 times before they buy it, and then that really adds up and cuts into your costing. So that's why I like to stick between 10 to 15 cents and keep it cheap. But sometimes, like I say, I push it up, but I haven't really seen that much success in a higher bid value, to be honest. So that's the one way you can do it on Amazon, is with keywords. The other way, which is pretty cool and new, it's annoying and cool at the same time, it's what they call sponsored ads, targeted ads. So what you do is you type in your competitor's product and you target their listings. So let's say you're selling lipstick, and let's say your Clinique, you would then type in Revlon, and you would advertise on all Revlon's lipstick items. So when anybody typed in Revlon in Amazon, it would also bring up your Clinique items, because you're bidding on their listings, and they would see your listings being advertised right next to Revlon. So that is a really useful way to get your items jump started. If your items are not rated, and if you don't have a lot of money to spend on advertising, you can do that targeted advertising, and that will hopefully get you some more exposure on the more popular products. And Amazon does give you suggestions of what the popular products are, so you can just go through, click, select all. That normally gives you 200 at a time. And then you need to run it for at least 14 days. And then you can go back and check it, and you can filter it out and see, where you're targeting is where you're making more money and where you're not. And wherever you're not making a lot of money, where it's not doing anything for your product, you can go ahead and delete those targets so that you don't target them anymore, and only target the products that you're getting a lot of clicks on, because then you'll throw more money in that direction and get more sales at the end of the day. So I hope this video was helpful and interesting. And I know it's a lot to take in, and it's impossible to try to tell you all in one video, but we will do more videos on it. And if you have any questions, please write to us in the comments. I'll be happy to answer you. And please like, subscribe, and share. As always, see you next time. Thanks. Bye.